There comes a moment in the life of every deeply feeling soul when the sheer weight of sensing everything becomes too much to carry. But this weight, more often than not, is not even theirs. You, who have entered rooms and felt silent grief that no one spoke aloud, who have come home heavy with strangers' anxiety as if it were your own cross. You are not imagining it. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are rare. You are empathic. But tonight, I must tell you this. Your gift is in danger, grave danger, because when a soul burns too brightly, when it shines not from ego, but from something eternal, it does not just attract attention. It draws the dark. The unconscious does not seek comfort. It seeks wholeness. And so the light bearer naturally pulls toward them those who have lost their light. But this isn't just about energy dynamics or relationships. It is a spiritual alchemy, a dangerous one. Empaths are not trained into their role. They are forged by survival. This attunement, this deep listening, it was born from walking on eggshells around a parent's rage, from learning to feel danger before it arrived, from absorbing the chaos of a world that felt too much to process. The empath's body became an instrument. Their soul became a sponge, and adaptation slowly became identity. But identity, especially one rooted in tuning into others, draws its opposite. For every empath, there is a narcissist. Not the cliché of vanity or arrogance, but an archetype, a fractured self, exiled from its own pain, that learns to feed on the radiance of another. Where the empath feels everything, the narcissist feels almost nothing. Where one gives endlessly, the other takes shamelessly. One swims in feelings, the other builds walls to escape their own. They do not find each other by fate, but through the unconscious principle of balance. The empath, unhealed, calls in the devourer. This is not love. It is a reenactment, an ancient drama of light and dark, trying to remember they were once whole. But hear this. This union is not holy unless both awaken, and far too often only one does. You, the empath, may think it is your purpose to heal, to rescue, to love the broken back into wholeness. But that is not love. It is possession, not by demons but by archetypes, patterns too vast for one person to carry alone. This is the path of the wounded healer, one whose suffering becomes their story, and their prison. The danger is not your light. It's believing the light is all you are. The narcissist feeds on that illusion. They don't know they're doing it. They don't see themselves as villains, but they crave what you carry, and in your glow they feel full for a while. But like a vampire who hates mirrors, they'll grow to resent you, because your light reminds them of what they've lost. And when that happens, you, dear empath, will feel like you're dying, because each compromise, each silencing of your truth is a sacrifice. You'll dream of drowning, of being trapped. These are not just dreams. They are your soul screaming. Wake up! What you've called love may actually be self-erasure. What you've called loyalty may be trauma reenacted. But this pain, it is not punishment. It is initiation. To walk away from this pattern is not betrayal. It is liberation. You are not here to be consumed. Your light is not fuel. It is a compass, not to guide others, but to guide you. Empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. Love without discernment is codependency. Healing others without healing yourself is not noble. It is martyrdom. The path forward is not to dim your light, nor to armor your heart, but to know yourself, to gaze not just outward, but inward, to meet your own shadow, to recognize your own projections, to discern what is divine guidance and what is emotional enmeshment. Because until the empath meets their own inner narcissist, the part of them that needs to be needed, that fears abandonment so deeply they'll endure anything. The cycle continues. The narcissist may devour, but the empath offers themselves up. And that, too, is not holy. It is self-forgetting. Ask yourself, who gains when I silence my truth? Who benefits when I abandon myself? What part of me thinks love must cost me everything? These questions are keys. Turn them gently. They open ancient doors. Behind them, freedom and power. Not power over others, but the power to be sovereign. Because when you walk through life lit from within, unprotected and unaware, other people's shadows will try to consume you, not out of malice, but out of hunger. The empath's tragedy is mistaking this hunger for connection. Your light is not here to be devoured. It is not charity. It is sacred. And your yes must be sacred too. Your no must be a spell. You are not a cure. You are not a savior. You are a soul, sovereign and luminous. And when you believe that, the world stops feeding on you. It starts respecting you. This journey is individuation, not merging. Returning to yourself. And yes, you will fear being selfish, but that fear is not truth. It is a ghost. The voice of childhood wounds, telling you that your needs are too much. Your truth is too loud. But let me ask you, how long will you betray yourself to make others comfortable? How many nights will you spend solving problems that aren't yours? The empath's heart is a compass, but only if it first points inward. When your sensitivity turns outward, you become an antenna for suffering. But when you turn it inward, it becomes vision, clarity, truth. You begin to hear the whispers. This is mine. That is not. And when an empath awakens, they stop apologizing. They stop shrinking. They stop explaining their boundaries to people who profit from their absence. They no longer beg for a seat at someone else's table. They build their own altar, not of martyrdom, but of truth. That is what the world fears, an empath who remembers, because you cannot manipulate someone who knows their worth. You stop confusing chaos with chemistry. You start asking, does this relationship honor who I'm becoming? That question cuts through illusion. It's a sword and a shield. And no, it doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. And clarity is love's fiercest form. Not everyone who says they need your light deserves it. Some will weep in your arms while quietly resenting your glow. Others will love you, but only if you stay small. Your light is holy, but it is not free. Even Christ chose his company. Even saints rested. So if you feel drawn to someone, ask, is this resonance or repetition? Is this intuition or trauma in disguise? Because sometimes what feels fated is just your inner child asking to finally be chosen. But you must choose yourself first. You must be the guardian you never had. The final danger is not them. It is you. When you believe you must bleed to be loved, that ancient lie will drain you dry. But when you see the pattern, I see it now. And you whisper, you reclaim your story. You begin again, no longer as a sponge, but as a vessel of truth. Your light no longer flickers. It steadies, burns with purpose. Not to save others, but to prove healing is possible. Empath, your gift is not pain. It is perception. The ability to feel the invisible. But with that gift comes a responsibility to protect it, to guard it, to honor it. Let your yes be holy. Let your no be protection. Let your presence be sacred, but never sacrificial. You are not a feast for hungry hearts. You are not a fix. You are not a flame to warm the world at your own expense. You are a soul, sovereign, whole, seen. And when you finally believe that, the world will rise, not to consume you, but to meet you.